Oh boy. Oh, this isn't going to be the kind of video that you guys are expecting. I just want to put it out there. I don't have a baseball bat hidden away off camera. I don't have a garbage can that I'm going to run and go grab and jump into it and film the rest of the video inside of it. I'm not going to scream. I'm not going to yell. Heck, I don't even know if I'm going to be upset. Yes, you already know. It's why you're here. Miami loses to Louisiana Tech 14-0 in the Independence Bowl, ending the season at 6-7. Louisiana Tech ending at 10-3. I can't believe that I'm about to say this. And I really sat down, and I usually take a few little notes before I do one of these videos, just so I don't get too off track and I can stay on point. And I wrote this down, and I was like, Coop, do you really mean this? Really? Like, do you really and truly actually mean what you're saying? Because I want to be careful with the words that I choose here when I say this. But after some consideration, I do mean what I'm about to say. I am relieved and happy that the 2019 season is over. And I know you're thinking that's not a big deal. Of course, me too. I'm happy that it's over. But that's huge for me to say that, because even when we've had tough times, I still love watching Miami Hurricanes football, right? I still get super pumped on Saturdays, and there's always that little bit of hope in the back of my head. Even when we went up against Clemson in the ACC Championship, as much as I knew that we were probably going to get demolished and steamrolled, there was always that little bit of hope back in the back of my head. And this season just was different. I really kind of just, at one point, wanted it to be over. And I don't know if I've ever said that. And if I have, I sure as heck don't remember it or how long ago that was. Because you have to understand that as someone who loves Miami Hurricanes football, that means no Miami Hurricanes football games until next year. And that hurts. It sucks. But before we dive deeper into the bowl game, we'll talk stats and just some general takeaways and thoughts and things from it. Let's go ahead and address the Dan Enos situation. So yes, reports came out that Miami and Dan Enos are parting ways. Now, keep in mind that these reports came out before the bowl game. So this is not a direct result of the loss to the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs. This was happening anyways. Now, what's going to be interesting is to see the details from this, because right now, again, everyone's just saying parting ways, which to me is a fancy term for you got fired. But I don't know if he already has something lined up. I know that they asked Manny Diaz about this, about Dan Enos being let go or them parting ways in the post-game interviews, and he declined to comment. So I don't really know how to take that or what that's supposed to mean, or if he just literally didn't want to talk about it because of, we just lost to Louisiana Tech. So I really don't know. So the coming days will tell us if it was actually a mutual parting of ways, or if he was maybe given an ultimatum and he didn't want to change, or if he just straight up got fired and kicked to the curb. We'll find out. So let's get back on the game. I told you guys that I'm not going to yell and I'm not going to flip stuff and break stuff. I predicted a loss for this game. I expected Miami to lose to the Bulldogs in the Independence Bowl. So this is not surprising. It doesn't hurt any less. I kept telling people during the live hangout that we're probably going to lose this game. And I tried to be mentally prepared for it, emotionally and physically prepared to take an L tonight. But it still doesn't hurt any less when you see a team that you care so much about getting beat up and down the field by a Conference USA football team, right? The way I put it was that it seems like the coaching staff and the players basically got a mini vacation to Louisiana, and the payment required from them was just to show up to this game. They didn't have to compete, they didn't have to win, they just had to show up. And that's sure as heck what we did. We just showed up because nobody looked enthusiastic or pumped to be there. Not any Miami coaches and not any of the Miami players. It was basically like we were going through the motions. We were going in slow motion, as a matter of fact. We looked like a high school team out there. But we really it felt like we had to be there, not that we wanted to be there. And I understand the argument of it's the Independence Bowl. So, of course, it's not a playoff atmosphere. It's not a big bowl game, right? But I feel like that your competitiveness as an athlete kind of takes over, right? Now, Tate Martell did come in for a series, and a lot of people were really excited. A lot of people were shaking their head, and they were upset. Either way, you can't gauge his performance from the single series that he got in this matchup. And I'm not a Tate Martell fanboy. I've said it numerous times, but I want to say it one more time because it's going to sound like I'm defending him. Did he kind of scramble around a lot? Yes. Did he really have any good throws? He did get that first down throw, but it was wobbly as heck when it came out. But I'm just saying you can't gauge his performance off of one single series in the Independence Bowl. You just can't. I was really hoping that we would see Williams for a quarter, Martell for a quarter, Perry for a quarter, and then maybe whoever played the best between the three could play the fourth, something like that. But unfortunately, they kept trying to keep Jaron Williams in, and he seemed to be struggling. And then they went with Perry in the fourth, and he really wasn't playing all that great. It was just a mess all around. Perry had an interception. Williams had an interception. Now, Martell, they did say that they were looking at him for a possible injury to his side or his rib or something like that. But I don't know. They didn't really ever say anything with it, and he never got a chance to come back in again. So let's take a quick look at some of the stats from the game. I'm going to just be looking at my monitor over beside me. So we already know the final score, 14-0. Miami was 5 of 14 on first downs. Louisiana Tech was 6 of 16. Louisiana Tech total yards, 337. Miami, 227. Pitiful. Absolutely pitiful. Louisiana Tech had 100 more yards than Miami. And Louisiana Tech on the ground, 174 yards. Miami mustered up a measly 74 yards. So nothing changed. We still couldn't get a run game going. We couldn't get anything going, as a matter of fact. We had 7 penalties for 65 yards. Louisiana Tech had 5 penalties for 49 yards. Miami, 3 turnovers. Louisiana Tech, 1 turnover. Again, I hate to say this, and I hate that I'm in this situation, but it's kind of what most expected. If anyone expected Miami to come out and just look like a totally different football team in this game, there's just no way that it was going to happen. For the quarterbacks, Jaron Williams was 9 of 20 for 94 yards and, of course, the interception. N'Kosi Perry was 5 of 13 for 52 yards. Yes, I'm grimacing while reading off these stats with 1 interception. Tate Martell was 1 for 1 for 7 yards. He did rush for 5 yards on 5 carries. These stats are tough to read. Cameron Harris, 12 carries for 31 yards. That's roughly a 2.5 yard average per carry. Our punt game was terrible. Receiving yards, KJ Osborne, 5 receptions for 56 yards. Will Mallory had a couple of catches, 4 for 42 yards. But just nothing that I can really say, here's some positives. I asked for positives, and people are going to say the defense. I do understand the defense was on the field a lot, and I guess if you really want to look at it, given how much time they were on the field, holding Louisiana Tech to 14 points is okay, I guess. I mean, they had the interception, which would have been the only way that we would have ever gotten any points on the board in this game, is if that interception would have been a pick 6, because the offense sure as heck wasn't putting any points on the board. But honestly, that's really about it. I don't have anything else to say. I'm relieved. It's like there's a weight lifted off of my shoulders that the 2019 season is done, because now we can try to look ahead and discuss the 2020 recruiting class that's coming in. We can discuss potential new coaching hires, new schemes that are coming in. We can try to look ahead, and I hate to be that guy because I always make fun of people that say this, but I guess at least there's next year to look forward to, right? Another opportunity starting out 0-0 and see where it leads us. The content on this channel is not stopping, so just a heads up. There will be live streams and videos during the entire offseason because we have more than enough to talk about, right? Literally starting next week, we're going to be talking about OCs and stuff like that. So just leave comments down below discussing either the game if you want, how pitiful the performance was, or if you want to talk about offensive coordinator stuff, if you want to talk about trying to look forward to 2020, trying to be hopeful. I don't know. Discuss whatever you want. Just leave some type of comment. Just show this video some love, and let's discuss some Miami football. And yeah, that's it. So remember though, guys, we're all one big happy college football family. But at the end of the day, I still got to say, it's always better when you get to rep the U. Coach Coop, peace out.